In the heart of the Swiss Alps, where the mountains were sculpted from cool blue and granite gray clay, lived a young climber named John. He stood at the base of the Great Divide with his friends, Urs and Emil. Before them lay two paths, a wide, flat trail leading to the Pebble Peak and a narrow, jagged crack winding up the Eagle's Spire. "Look at the crowd, John," Emil shouted, gesturing to the hundreds of people shuffling toward Pebble Peak. It was an easy walk, and everyone was laughing and eating clay sandwiches. "It's safe, it's fun, and we'll be back by lunch. Why would anyone go anywhere else?" John looked at the Eagle's Spire. It was sharp and intimidating, its sides covered in ridges that looked like frozen clay waves. "The view from the pebble must be the same one everyone sees," John said softly to Urs. "I want to see what's on the other side of the clouds. I want to try the spire." Urs and Emil shook their heads. "It's too steep," Emil warned. "You'll be all alone up there," Urs added, his voice trembling slightly. They didn't want to leave the comfort of the crowd. They preferred the path where the footprints were already deep and the way was clear. John felt a pang of loneliness as his friends turned toward the easy peak. "Good luck," Emil called out over his shoulder. John took a deep breath, adjusted his heavy clay pack, and stepped onto the path of the spire. The ground here wasn't smooth. It was full of sharp edges and loose stones. The climb was harder than John had imagined. His clay hands grew dusty as he gripped the freezing ledges. He had to pull himself up inch by inch, his muscles, sculpted with fine lines of effort, straining under the weight of his gear. There were no voices here, only the whistling of the wind. Halfway up, John paused to catch his breath. He looked down and saw the Pebble Peak. From here, the crowd looked like tiny dots of colorful clay huddling together on the flat summit. For a moment, he missed the easy laughter and the safety of the group, but then he looked up. The final stretch was a wall of solid, dark gray clay. John's fingers ached and the air grew thin and cold. He found a single, sturdy handhold and pulled. With one last, mighty heave, his head rose above the final ridge. The world suddenly opened up in a burst of golden light. John stood up and gasped. The view was unlike anything he had ever seen. The entire mountain range stretched out like a sea of frozen clay waves, glowing in the sunset. Standing nearby was a woman named Verena, her gear weathered and her expression peaceful. She smiled at him, recognizing the look in his eyes. "You made it," Verena said. Another climber, Carl, emerged from a small tent nearby to welcome him. John realized that while the easy peak was crowded, the difficult peak was where the true community lived, a small group of brave souls who knew the value of the struggle. John looked out at the endless horizon, glad he had the courage to leave the crowd behind.